Hello again, everybody. Welcome once more to Powerline Weekly Video Ministry. This is Richard Ike, and we're on episode number 147. And the title of today's message is The Female Champions of the Bible, Part 15. The Female Champions of the Bible, Part 15. Now, done the book of Esther, and now we're starting in the book of Ruth. These are the two women who had books in the Bible named after them. Esther was a Jew that was married to a Gentile, and Ruth was a Gentile that was married to a Jew. And this was prophetic concerning the Lord bringing together the Jewish nation and the Gentile world. The Lord is going to do this. So when I saw the similarity between Ruth and Esther, the only two women who books of the Bible were named after, and I saw their marital status. Esther was a Jew married to a Gentile, and so happened that Ruth is the opposite, the Gentile married to a Jew. I said, Lord has left us a nugget right there. Number two is the number of confirmation. When Joseph was interpreting the dream of Pharaoh, Pharaoh had two separate dreams. One of corn that were healthy being eaten by corn that were unhealthy, and another of cows that were healthy being eaten by cows that were unhealthy. He told Pharaoh that the two dreams were the same. The reason that they came in two forms because the Lord had decided it firmly and he was going to bring it to pass. So the Lord has decided it firmly and is going to bring it to pass, that he's going to unite the Jewish nation and the Gentile world. That's why you have the scenario of two women, one Gentile, a Jew married to a Gentile, the other one a Gentile married to a Jew. Lord operates like that. When I began to understand that the Bible was mathematical, these revelations were no longer a mystery to me. I even knew what I was going to find. Once I understood that the Bible obeys the rules of mathematics, I said, okay, I'm going to find so this revelation, that revelation, that revelation, and sure enough, I said, the God, once I understood the God that created mathematics, if he's the same one that wrote the Bible will follow the rules of mathematics. So it's full of dimensions of revelation. We haven't gone to the end of mathematics yet. We keep calculating. So there's no end to the revelation of the Bible. And Lord Jesus confirms it. He said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall live forever. So that means continuous, endless flow of revelation. Just like mathematics is endless. We calculate, but it has a principle by which it works. So the Bible operates by a certain principle, mathematically based, but the revelations are endless. Okay. Now, before I get into the message, as is my tradition, I have an addendum. It's going to be a short one. Okay. I saw this message today. It was a theologian, the intellectuals, the left-brainers, the intellectuals trying to deal with spiritual matters. So they sound like college professors. And I've said it before, a few theologians I have respect for, really. Because just one book, people want to read it. If it's the world of academia, there are different books to read. This is just one book, people want to read it. I read it. I don't just go by what people say. I go and investigate for myself. And now, this is where this self-research comes into play. Because I was talking about the title of the video was the fallen angels in Genesis 6, were they demons, something like that. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it said, but that's basically the main subject. And in the Genesis, were the sons of God in Genesis chapter 6, were they fallen angels? Okay. Because the book of Ignorant Tradition, even though they make it into the Bible, it was quoted in different places. People know where Jude quotes the book of Enoch, but they don't know that the Lord Jesus quoted heavily from the book of Enoch. I actually want to go read the book of Enoch. I say, hey, the Lord Jesus said these things. He used different phrases. I say, hey, well, Lord Jesus, Isaiah quoted, so many people quoted. I think Daniel quoted. I say, the Lord Jesus himself quoted the book of Enoch. But they make it to the Bible. So give the account of the fallen angels that came and slept with human women, and their children became giants. They call them the Nephilims. So the guy was asked if they were those fallen, those sons of God in Genesis chapter 6 were fallen angels. So he's professor style. He's writing on the board and he's speaking at the same time. I'm like, why is he speaking and writing on the board at the same time? Can't he just tell them to dictate? Can he say so they can write it down? Why is he writing? I said, that must be for effect, to make it sound like what he's saying is legitimate and heavy. And he quoted the scripture that the Bible says that when the Lord Jesus was asked about the angels in heaven, I said that the angels, they don't marry and all that stuff, and this. Basically, the things that humans do that they don't do, so basically saying that those could not be angels because of what the Bible said or what the Bible have said. That's why it's good to study for yourself, because the same Bible, he said in the New Testament that angels can come and human form, that tells us to be watchful how we entertain strangers, because angels unknowingly we've entertained angels, so they can come disguised in human form. So now the question is it disguised as an outside shell, where if you cut them open, they'll be nothing on the inside? It just take the appearance of human beings, or they're not actually there. If you put your hand, you go through them. No, but they just appear like they're there. Or do they actually say they take human form? Since the Old Testament validates the New, you find in the Old Testament where angels are showing up. When Abraham, best case scenario, the Lord came to visit him. He prepared meal for them to eat. He didn't say they did not eat. They refused the meal. The Lord came. He said, prepare meal for them to eat. He said, let me get you some bread. How do you say? Let me get you bread so you can eat and your heart will be merry. I said, so that's where this elderly women got that wisdom, that the road to a man's heart is through his stomach. It's confirmed. Abraham said that they will eat and their hearts will be merry. So now if they are eating, and then, the Lord got up, or one of the angels got on the side to shake his food. I said, what's wrong with that? Oh, the food, since we don't have bodies, the food went through my body and went all the way down to the bottom of our foot. So now I had to open the bottom of my foot and let out the food, because we don't have bodies. But since that didn't happen, that means they had internal organs, digestive system, that they can appear as humans with internal organs, digestive system. And that's so they could also appear as human bodies, digestive system, and reproductive organs. That's it. Settled. If they can eat, they just appear in human form. The Lord appeared with Abraham saw the three people. He knew it was the Lord. Prepared food, and they ate. I said, and they can have sexual organs. They just appear in human form, complete with everything that is in the body. I said, settled. That's it. Settled for me. So I brushed on that argument to another theologian, just run off in his own intellectual jargon, like, out of the way. Now, that's it. I'm getting the message. The sons of God in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, those were fallen angels. The same sons of God, same word used, sons of God. You find it in the book of Job. Said the sons of God gathered, and Satan also gathered with them. The human beings. Where would they gather? Those were the angels. He also gathered with them. Why? It was obvious God was doing accounting, taking inventory. What's going on? Everyone is coming to report. What's Satan came and God asked him a question. I said, where have you come from? How did you go again? Like, what are you doing? Where have you come from? He said, from going through the earth and up and down in it. And then next time he came, same question. Going to one for, I said, this sounds like protocol of inventory protocol. I know when the jaw hits the hammer, boom, and there's a whole protocol in court. That's what it looked like, because he came and he said the same thing. He asked the same question, get the same answer. Then now goes into the matter. I said, okay, so there's so this was something more like an accounting system. The Lord is the CEO. The heavens, the first major corporation. The accounting system beyond our own capacity to comprehend. So I say, sons of God there, sons of God, the book of Genesis, same thing. Now, book of Ruth, chapter 1. Ruth, very short book, just 4 chapters. I didn't even notice that until this message. So I'll read chapter 1. Chapter 1 from verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah. Well, if you want to get Oprah Winfrey, she said that was a misspelling of the name Oprah. And the name of the other, Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters, her 2 daughters-in-law, go return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, turn again, my daughters. Why would you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters. Go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you tarry for them till they were grown? Would you stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes. And the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law. But Ruth clave unto her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her God. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee or return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So the two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And they said, is this Naomi? And she said unto them, call me not Naomi, call me Mara. For the Almighty had dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord had brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord had testified against me, and the Almighty had afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest. Okay. Lord, let this message be all of you and none of me. As you have revealed it, I unleash it. I had always found this book of Ruth to be boring. That's why I didn't even know it was only 4 chapters. I've read it before a few times. But now I wanted to give a message. I put messages on it. And the Kingsman Redeemer. And all that stuff. And I'm like, what is this? Why is this book even here? What weight of significance does it carry? Yeah, like, this book is boring. Unlike the book of Esther. Esther was like, it played out like the movies. In the movies there's always a protagonist and antagonist, good guy and bad guy. Esther played it that way. There was a protagonist, Haman the destroyer, and that's probably where Adolf Hitler got his inspiration from. But book of Ruth, like, No, antagonist thing. Yeah, I was like, this thing is just boring. So I was even happy it was 4 chapters. Only 4 chapters. That's good. This thing is boring. But knowing the Lord, that you operate on a mathematical basis. And mathematics has levels and has depth. So does revelation in the Bible, because the revelation they follow, the Bible follows the blueprint of mathematical protocols. So, light is going out. Satan, you're a liar. I'll continue my message. So, I said, there must be revelation, there must be depth of revelation in here. Because while looking at it on the surface, like, it seems like this thing just about a poor girl that found herself a rich man. That was the same story as of Esther, a poor girl that found herself a rich man. Esther go and married Ahasuerus, the king. Ruth, later on she married Boaz. And I was like, okay, the only two books in the Bible that were named after women. It's about poor girls marrying rich guys. So is that what the foundation of the story is? For women, if you're poor, just find yourself a rich guy. And so it's teaching them how to be gold diggers. And they both got counsel from the elderly. Ruth got counsel from Naomi, how to snag Boaz, the rich man. Esther got counsel from the servants of the king on how to snag the king. Because when all the girls were getting all the stuff they liked, she went and asked what she should get. And they told her exactly what to get, and it so happened to be she was the one that the king picked, because they showed her all the stuff the king liked. So the elderly showed her how to snatch the rich guy. So is that a book? I mean, this the matters of women, is it that their own situation? If you're poor, just let the elders give you a task on how to snatch the rich guy, so the problem solved. But if you're a man, now you have to go through toil, now you have to believe God, and you have to go through trials and tribulations. And you have to have faith and all kind of stuff, and then all the challenges and all that stuff. So that's the man's story, the woman's story. And if you're poor, just get advice from the elderly, and they find yourself a rich man, your problem solved. Go. That's the only two books with women. The only two books in the Bible that are named after women. That's the story. I said, but it can't be at least Esther had the protocol of action movie. There was a bad guy, a serious one, antagonist. Now Ruth, antagonist, says, okay, Lord, unveil the mystery. I know you. Unveil the mystery hidden in the book of Ruth that I haven't seen before. Maybe others have seen it. I haven't heard them, but me, I haven't seen it before. I don't know anybody who has seen this. And it begins. Conscious of the time. He said, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled the land. There was a famine in the land. So it seemed like there was judgment coming. It seemed the days the judges ruled the land, it seemed like the famine was a judgment, because Israel in those days was quite rebellious. Back and forth with God, back and forth with God. When one generation turns to God, the next generation turns against God. God bring trouble, and allow trouble, affliction to come, and then they turn to God, and then it was back and forth, back and forth. He said, I came to pass in the days when the judges ruled, that there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab. A certain man of Bethlehem, Judah. And his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech. And the name of his wife was Naomi. And his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. That won't caught my attention. That was the first one to catch my attention. It's an Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. Put the compound name Bethlehem, Judah. Usually it's Judah or Bethlehem. Bethlehem is in Judah. But it's an Ephrathites. So I want to go look up this word, because it's like a shining stone on the ground that you could easily ignore. I just saw a glinter. Like when Moses, he saw the burning bush in the corner of his eyes. Let me go and take a closer look at this thing. So it was like burning bush. I said, let me go and take a closer look at this thing. So Ephrathites, by definition, I want to look at the concordance. Ephrathite. It's a variant of Ephraim. It's connected to Ephraim. And it means fruitful. So saying that these were fruitful people. Bethlehem, house of bread. Judah, praise. So fruitful people in the house of bread. where praise is given to God. You see the connection. So they are well off. It's hidden, the revelation is hidden there in the name, and later is confirmed in the same chapter. It's confirmed. So it said, Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judah, and they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of women of Moab after Elimelech died, and the 2 sons took wives of Moabite women. Perhaps they didn't take wives before because their father wouldn't approve of it. So after the father died, now the mother was more lenient, more compassionate. So she allowed them to take wives. Gentile women. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. She had lost her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread. So she heard that the famine had been lifted. Said, okay, what am I still doing here? I've lost my husband and my 2 sons. Let me return. God has given them, God has blessed them. Mind you, they didn't live in these people, this Elimelech, his household, this is like the man had substance when he left. It wasn't poverty. He was looking for opportunity. We'll see it later. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters with her. And they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you, and you may find the rest, each of you, in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them and lifted up their voice and wept. I was wondering, why didn't she say that while they were in the house? Why is it on the journey? She didn't want, she just came to her senses. Well, why am I taking these 2 women with me? Maybe it's because, maybe part of the reason that she didn't want to mention to them that, going to the land of the Hebrews, you have to adopt to a new custom. You have to adopt to a new way of life. You have to adopt to our gods, our ways, our laws, and all that stuff. Maybe she didn't mention that one, but maybe that's the undertone. Because all these things she's saying now, she could have told them in the house before they left. While they were on their way, suddenly she just started talking to them. I said, maybe there was something else underneath this and that. Because if a Gentile going to the land of the Jews, they must adapt. That's it. It's in the law. If the Gentile was going to live, the alien to live among them, the law had prescription on how the alien was to live. Okay. And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. They were determined. They loved her. They were attached to her. She had become their mother. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why would you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husband? Turn again, my daughters. Go your way. For I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you tarry for them till they were grown? If I'm married now, I had sons, would you wait for them to grow up to marry them? Would you stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sake, that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. I guess Orpah was thinking sooner or later Ruth will come and join her, now, since the mother-in-law was driving them away. But Orpah, Naomi, she was wrong in doing that. Why? Because the Moabite, they worship idols. She sent them back to your people, and then said to your gods. She sent them back to, And the Bible tells us that these idols they're worshiping were devils. The true God was in Israel. So on account of her sorrow, she was sending them back. Oprah didn't have the determination of Ruth. Ruth was determined to go with Naomi. But I saw something in here. That Ruth's determination to go with Naomi, it was God's plan of redeeming the situation. Why? Because it occurred to me that they were never supposed to leave Israel and go set up camp in the land of Moab, the land where they worship idols. Because that's where she got ravaged. She don't want coming. Go down. Let me finish this. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. Send them back to worship the demons that they were worshiping. Naomi was wrong. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go. And where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God. That's where she was qualified for God to use her. So thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God. I said, hey, this is where Rachel, Jacob's wife, got into trouble. Because when she was living with Jacob, living in her father's house, Laban, she took her father's gods, which caused Laban to pursue Jacob. Again, Jacob was already living trouble, the trouble of Laban's house. But his wife Rachel took Laban's gods, and which he does the invocation to get the blessing for his harvest and his livestock and all that stuff. So his gods were gone. So now he was after Jacob. And Jacob, when she got up with Jacob said, nobody had your idols here. So he went to go and search. Rachel went and sat on the gods and refused to stand up. Say, oh, she was in her period. Sat on the gods. Why did she take her father's gods? Familiarity. That's what she was familiar with. So she has seen her father do incantation, all that stuff, invoke stuff and see it work. So okay, I'll take it with me. So if it work for him, it work for me. People, they don't know about this thing, the occult and idol worship and all that stuff. You see the idols and you wonder why they're worshiping idol. Because the spirits behind them were doing something. If not, they would have gotten point, they don't do anything, let's find something else. Why did Laban pursue Jacob? Because those things were doing something. He may go and do invocation, make a sacrifice also, and something happen. So Jacob said, if anybody in his household took Laban's gold, let that person die. He gave Rachel a death sentence. But what kept Rachel alive was because all the 12 tribes are not yet complete. Once she gave birth to Benjamin, the last of the 12 tribes, she died in childbirth. And then she called him Benoni, and then Jacob had to change the name to Benjamin. So Benoni, son of my sorrow. Then Jacob changed the name, and Benjamin, son of my right hand. And she died. It was the curse that Jacob placed. Whoever took your gods, let that person die. But it could not be activated because destiny was still unfolding. The 12 tribes hadn't been released yet. So as Benjamin, number 12, was released, she died in childbirth. It was that declaration of Jacob. So here, now Lord, now open my eyes to see this. When Ruth said, your God will be my God, she was now qualified for God, for the redemptive work God wanted to do. Because when she went to the land of, when Naomi and her family went to the land of Moab, they got ravaged. So now she's living. It must have been God who put that inclination in her to hold on to Ruth, because God wanted to redeem the situation, redeem her circumstance from what the enemy used. Moab to ravage them. So God was going to use a Moabites to redeem the situation. And it goes on. And he said, and thy God, my God, and where thou diest, will I die. And I saw a similarity between her and Esther. Had that same mind frame. If I die, if I perish, I perish. So whether I die, I die. So these two are connected. That's not the way they're connected. They had that die-hard mentality. When Esther told Mordecai, go and tell the Jews to fast for 3 days. And she allowed me to fast for 3 days. And then she go to see the king. Said, if I perish, I'll perish. Exodus chapter 4, verse 16. That's where Esther grew up. So Ruth had the same mind frame. If I die, I die. So much am I God? Okay. That's out. When thou diest, will I die? And there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also. If aught be death, if aught but death part thee and me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left, speaking unto her. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them, and they said, is this Naomi? That's why I said they were wealthy. They were people of substance, because all the city knew who she was. They were moved. Say, is this Naomi? I said, that's how they react to wealthy people. If she was, they were poor, they wouldn't have reacted that way. The whole city said, is this Naomi? I said, this was why they were wealthy. It was hidden in the statement, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. Ephrathite, fruitful, the house of bread. Judah, praise. House of bread, that's what we give praise. Thank God for this bread. Thank God for the substance. Ephrathite, they were fruitful. That means the man was a good businessman, lucrative businessman. Unfortunately, he died in land of Moab. So what happened? Says this Naomi, and she said unto them, call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty had dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord had brought me home again empty. I said, they were wealthy. Now the full picture came, and now saw the antagonist. The antagonist was the devil himself, Satan, the devil. How? Because what we learn from the book of Job, Satan got permission from God to strike Job. God gave him the permission. He struck Job. Job blamed God. Why? Because God is the one that we see. God is the one that not that we see, we're familiar with his work. We see his works. Satan likes to operate behind the scene and hide it. He wants to get the same glory as God, but he can't because he hides himself. But we see God doing the works he does in the open. So we give him glory. But on the same token, when something bad happens, we give him blame. Say, why did God let this happen? So Job was doing what all human beings do, blaming God. But when God began to deal with Job, he never told Job that, hey, I wasn't the one who did it. It's the devil who did it. He took the credit, took the blame for himself. Like, hey, don't I have the right, I'm Almighty, don't have the right to do what I want. It's like, this is my universe. I can do what I please. So now, Naomi is going through the same Job blues. The devil struck because they were in the land of Moab where they worship demons. Devil struck and is blaming God. How do I know it's the devil that struck? Because the patterns have been revealed by the Lord Jesus. In John 10:10, the thief cometh to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And then he reveals God's pattern. I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So she went, said, I went out full and came back empty. Whose pattern is that? That's the enemy, the thief. The thief has stolen from them. Well, guess what? They blame God. And so it was said, so let me see. Have a little more time. And that's how it was in the account of David when he counted this man. And there were two accounts of it in the Bible. I should have had those scriptures ready on hand. Where he counted this man and wanted God was incited against him. And judgment came. They had to choose one of three forms. And then one said that Satan was incited. Satan incited David to count the man. And another account says that God incited David to count the man. So a person without wisdom and understanding this matter, divine revelation, would think, the Bible contradicts itself. As they haven't read the book of Job. They have read the book of Job, and the revelation will bring matters together. Satan, go and take permission from God to strike. When God grants him permission, Satan will strike. But then God will blame for it. But God won't deny the blame. I have a right to. I'm the Almighty. I have a right to do what I want. Really, he does. What can we do? If you choose to blow up the earth, what can we do? We're at his mercy. We need him. He doesn't need us. He just has affection for us. But need, he does not need. What would he know? What can we give him? So when I saw that, this is the Job principle. This one said, Satan incited David. The other one said, the Lord incited David. If the Lord incited David, why would he be angry with David? I put the two together. I said, this is the Job formula. So now we're sitting with Naomi. Now we say, that the Lord had dealt heavily with her. And it's the devil that struck. But you get permission first. Maybe the permission is, hey, they're outside of the land of covenant. They are here where I have worshippers. So now I have right to attack. Maybe that's what Satan used to get permission to wreak havoc. However, Lord was using Ruth to bring redemption to the situation. So since I have a couple more minutes left, let me read it out. I went out full, and the Lord had brought me home empty. I said, she's doing the Job thing. The devil struck, but God is getting blamed. Because the thief, John 10:10, the thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy.